idea to be done in other quarry wasteland. Because still mining is going on in other places, as I have mentioned. There are other reserve lands where they are now excavating the corals. And these corals are semi-permeable. They allow water to seep through them from the water table to the ground surface. That's how you can see this pond. And there are several ponds of water around. But this water, we don't have them stagnant in the ponds. We've made them to flow all around the park. And the idea is just to serve a purpose with these other habitats. So here we also have another habitat of vegetation. These are halophytes. These are mangroves, mikoko. There are different species. There are two species of mangroves here. Kuna hii na kakambe inatembea, the proproots. This is the Rhizophorus mucronata mangrove. And then there are these tall ones, the Avicennia marina. They are types of mangroves. So mangroves are adapted to survive in saline areas. Haya maji ambayo naeleza, it's not fresh water. Rather, it's not also salt water. It's known as brackish water. A number of trees have been cut and fallen down. We only cut them once it has blocked a trail, but ikianguka this other side hatushughuliki nayo. Najua kuna science inaendelea pale. Sawa? Yeah.
My name is Julie. I'm a fourth-year student undergoing mineral processing engineering. This summer school has been eventful for me. I have enjoyed and I have really learned a lot. It has helped me shed some light on which career path I'm going to take after my undergraduate. It has given me some insights on what the world job market is looking for. It has also helped me gain some knowledge about sustainable development, and I hope that the knowledge that I've gained during this summer school I'm going to impact the society positively. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening. My name is Boniface Changwe. I'm third year pursuing mining and mineral processing engineering. And what I can say about my experience in this summer school is that personally gained and learned through the exposure, fieldwork, site visits, and interaction among the participants and the staffs. It gave me a need to appreciate the natural resources present in the coastal region of Kenya, and the skills gained are the tools that will enable us to solve problems in the natural resource sector, and that will arise in future. Thank you, CEMEREM and TTU at large for planning this. Thank you.
My name is Romeo Matano, a mining engineering student in Bachelor of Science. Concerning my general experience for this summer school is that a lot that I never knew would be real became real. The luxurious and prestigious hospitality that I have experienced is an exception. It has been real exposure and adventure with journey across the coastal region, some places which I had never been. Cooperation and relation with some staffs had been created and bonded through this trip. Socializing with people too has become a good experience, most of whom I initially never thought will have anything we will share in common, but it has turned out to be awesome relationship. My special appreciation to the entire sponsoring team, CEMEREM, DAAL, TU, HIW, and TU, the staffs, and mostly God. Thank you.
I'd like to appreciate the members of CEMEREM for selecting me to attend this program throughout this one. My experience is I've learned through observation, interaction with most of you guys here, and problem solving. I've also encountered some topics where I can do research on and come up with ideas on how we can solve problems in the society. So generally, I'd like to read out my experience from the time we visited Lake Chala to yesterday. So from the Lake Chala side, I'd like to acknowledge of how the members have interacted with the members from Tanzania and come up with a way of how they can integrate fishing in the lake. Then from the stone quarrying in the same place in Chala, on how they have developed from the way they quarry the stones to the process, the developed way of quarrying the stones in the other side. And on the salt mining side in Malindi, the field is still yet to be developed more, as there is a deficit of 200,000 tons in Kenya and the neighboring countries. And in the Hala side, on how we can develop and integrate agriculture and mining, and in enhancing agricultural mining, and we can develop these mining sites into good agricultural centers. And I'd like to acknowledge the CEMEREM community for this wonderful hospitality and where we've been hosted, and thank you for that.
Name and program.
My name is Emmanuel Otieno, pursuing Agricultural Education and Extension School of Agriculture.
I'm grateful to the CEMEREM Summer School for giving me this opportunity. Secondly, this opportunity has gotten me out of my comfort zone socially and intellectually. Over a period of a week, I have been exposed to various facets of the mining industry, all the way from exploration to reclamation of wasteland. Most of all, it was exciting and an eventful experience. Thank you.
Kiprop Mining Corp. First of all, I'd like to thank God. He's been with us since the beginning of this event, and right now we are ending in quite well. We had no injuries, we had no really major problems in that side. So I'm grateful, first of all, for being selected, and secondly for the good care and accommodation provided throughout the CEMEREM Summer School. Indeed, the school has been of great importance to us, and we can say for sure that we've learned a lot and had a good time. The visit to Chaiwa Mines was the most anticipated since it directly relates to our field of profession. Learning at the mines was intense, hands-on and practical. This shall surely help us with our career. Thank you.
My name is Peter Mutie. I'm a Radia. My name is Nenda. I'm thankful firstly to the entire CEMEREM committee for granting me an opportunity to participate in Summer School 2021. Secondly, to the DAAD for making Summer School 2021 a success. The experience of the entire event was wonderful, which entailed familiarizing the original knowledge taught in class to the real-life situation of the field. Through the Summer School 2021, I was able to learn more on poster presentation, experience and some mining areas, that is interior mines, manual and the mechanized steel quarry, salt production, reclamation of the mine areas, visiting the Halapak and visiting the channel. Thank you.
It was a great experience. I think for me, the point of interest was majorly environmental. So when we visited Lake Chala, one of the things I noticed was level gauging. I saw a level gauging instrument, and one of the things that we learned in class. The other thing that I noticed was, of course, land reclamation and rehabilitation, and in Malindi, the use of natural resources, the sun, wind, all that. So it was really great to see practically what I have learned in class, but it was also a good opportunity to network with other colleagues and our lecturers. And I think for me it was also a good opportunity to get to places I would never go alone, probably like lecturer. So it was a good experience. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you, Boy. Mining student, and this is my experience. Okay, I loved everything from the field excursions, the accommodation, and not forgetting the meals. The most outstanding thing I experienced was the exposure to the manufacturing and processing of salt. Just to see the steps in the plant, it showed me that two heads are better than one, and unity is strength. I loved the way people were working together and getting the final product to the market. I really loved that. As of now, I have a clear view of where I'm heading and where to focus my concentration. It has given me an insight of what I can do as my project and what I'll be focusing on. I'm also happy I made new friends and I learned a lot from them. Thank you.
Good evening. Good evening. I'm Kiswa Ali Saif, Mining 4 student. I would like to share my experiences. First, I would like to thank CEMEREM for giving me this opportunity. It shows that I'm worth something. First, I would like the experience that I acquired was through learning from the scholars and experts, like the woman from NEMA and from lecturers who presented in front. Two, I would like to appreciate Mother Nature from the visit at Hala Park. I learned a lot about land reclamation or rehabilitation, and it really shows that we are responsible for taking care of what we have destroyed, especially from mining activities. And two, I would like to appreciate the processes like the one we saw at Malindi Salt, the way they process, the way the processes from the beginning, from the sea up to where we saw the salt in our tables. Lastly, I will, from the enjoyment, the hospitality, all the way from Uvoi to here, it's really nice because maybe nisingewelala kwa hoteli kama hii. So through CEMEREM, at least naweza nikajivunia kwa enjoy. Thank you so much.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Kola Mwange. I'm an MSc student in process engineering, second year. And well, I would like to first note some key areas that I really learned a lot from the presentations that we had on the first and third day. It was actually a learning experience from the lecturers and from my peers on issues about presentation skills and the various interesting topics and discussions that we had. Then on the visits, on Lechala, it was just an actualization of getting to physically see where Lechala is. I've been studying it in the books, but I've never actually visited the place, so it was a nice opportunity for me. Thank you for that. In Malindi Salt, being a process engineer, that is something that was directly linked to my program. It was an interesting field excursion interacting with the process engineers, right from the harvesting of the crystallization process of salt, and the processing, the actual purification, the safety measures that have been put in place, and actually till the final, the automation of the process, the continuous production, it's not batch production. So it was a good experience getting to see whatever we've studied in class being applied out there in the industry. Then today for the Halapak, it was interesting to get to know what there is a bit that was explained about the processing of cement. To me, that was really quite an experience. I've never been to a cement plant. However, much little we interacted with her, it was an opportunity for me to get to learn on what happens in cement production, the firing of the kiln using coal and all that. And then on the reclamation bit, the various animals that and the ecosystems that are available in Halapak. It was quite an experience for me. I thank you so much. Lastly, I'd like to thank you, the committee, for seeing me worth participating in summer school. I've been hearing of summer school, but I've never actually gotten to know what exactly summer school is. It's a good learning experience. So thank you so much.
My name is Melinda Tienosido, and I'm doing Bachelor of Education Science. First, I wish to thank God for protecting us through this event, and my experience since this event began was awesome. I've interacted with my fellow students and the master students, and I've learned a lot from them. And from the first day, through the presentations that were done, I learned a lot, though I didn't present maybe well, but through the presentations that were done, I learned a lot, and I know that my next presentation will be awesome. For the wonderful life that we were exposed to, I'm really grateful. I've never experienced this, and I'll work hard to have the same life someday. For the trips that we went, I learned a lot, most specifically the Malindi salts, where we went. I learned a lot from the extraction of salts, and as a teacher, I'll also bring my students there someday to learn the same way I learned. Thank you for organizing this ceremony. I don't take it for granted. I didn't deserve it, but maybe this is my day, and I thank all of you for thank you.
Lawrence, a student in School of Business, Economic and Social Sciences, pursuing Bachelor in Purchasing and Supplies Management. First of all, I would wish to say that the experience was so good and very educative. Second, I would also wish to say that I've learned a lot, especially in this mining sector. I've also learned how mining is related to also a business course which we are pursuing, especially when we went to Malindi Salt. I learned that upon doing all the processes, they also have to find market for their produces, and that one was very great experience. And also the interaction with our lecturers was so good. They were very friendly. And to conclude, I would wish to thank the CEMEREM and the dad for sponsoring this event, and it was so nice. Thank you, and thank you very much.
Everyone. My name is Mzungu Richard, and I am from School of Science and Informatics, Masters of Science in Geoinformatics. First, I'm very grateful for this opportunity, for being chosen to come to this event. I am very grateful, and I thank the whole committee. And now, what I've learned a lot in the CEMEREM, the discussion and the field trips. Particularly, I've learned through observation and actively engaging in all the activities. And to note that in the quarries and the mines, I've learned the importance of using technology in making the mines being very efficient and for safety purposes. Also, there is need or the importance of mitigating climate change or issues arising from mining activities. Also, I'm very grateful to learn that there is land reclamation or land conservation measures which can be done in quarries or the quarries which have been finished, or the use of those quarries. What is the correct one? Commission. Yes. So that's from Halapa. Yeah, that's all. I'm very grateful.
Good evening, all of you. My name is Dennis Mogus. I am an MSc student, MSc in mining engineering, first year. My experience in this summer school event has been good, and I have been able to learn from both the lecturers and the students from different fields of learning. I had a good opportunity to learn more about the mining activities and the field excursions in the coastal region. And fortunately, I've been able to identify an idea about my topic of a thesis in the health and the safety in the underground mining. I would like to thank the DAB for sponsoring the event, the CEMEREM committee for the overall coordination of the event, and also for nominating me to be part of the CEMEREM Summer School team. Thank you.
My name is Nima Hasirani, pursuing Bachelor of Commerce here. At first, when I came,
Manifest the camera.
Come, relax. I thought by this time utakuwa umepunguza. Just come here.
at the beginning of CEMEREM, I thought I would never enjoy it because it was more about mining, but with time, I changed my mind because I have learned a lot from the trip to the mines, to Malindi where they make the salt, and to Halapak, and also from my interaction with my fellow students.
My name is Gwenjeri Beatrice Mjiku, mining 4. The experience allowed me to interact with artisanal miners in Chawia mine and got to learn the crude ways of prospecting and mining. The gemstones, which were mostly green tourmaline and savorite. The presentations from my fellow undergraduates, postgraduates, lecturers, and the guests enlightened me on various topics, how to design and present a good poster, and our travels to Taveta sub-county allowed us to visit the crater lake, Lake Chala, located at the edge of Taita Taveta County. The trip to Malindi Salt Works was wonderful. Got to learn the process of mining salt directly from the ocean and also carried with us the unrefined salt. Then the visit to Halapak presented us a good real-life example of a reclaimed land. Thank you.
Engineering 2. Well, the summer school experience was all and good. The opportunity to visit, learn and experience places like Bamburi Halapak, Malindi Salt, Lake Chala and stone quarries, and not forgetting Chawia CBO mining sites were exceptional moments. Bamburi Halapak tour could not have been any better without Madam Elizabeth on the lead. Her level of competency, in my opinion, was one to yearn for. Engineer Owina, on the other side at Malindi Salt Works, gave a recommendable study moment at the site. Visit to Lake Chala, artisanal mines, and most especially quarry sites, and the technology we found being employed there was one to consider and to learn more about. My acknowledgement goes to DAAD and organizing committee and all the participants for making this wonderful opportunity happen.
Evening, everyone. I'm Lynette Mikali Musyoki, a third year pursuing Bachelor of Science in Mining and Mineral Processing Engineering. Special thanks to CEMEREM, the Taita Taveta University fraternity, for giving me a chance to participate in this summer school. Summer school has been both educational and informative. I learned a lot about small-scale mining, the problems faced by small-scale miners, the social concerns and the environmental concerns in the mining sector. I also learned about how to manage finances in mining, aluminium waste management, and the concerns through various talks, presentations, through my lecturers and my colleagues. Thank you so much.
Hello everyone. My name is Karatu Margaret, MMPA3. It has been an exciting experience. I've learned a lot from observing and also taking practice. I've experienced different methods of mining, e.g. at Sharia, where they use underground and open cast methods of mining. At Malindi Salt Works, I've learned how salt can be manufactured, collected and purified from the seawater to salt crystals. At Bamburi Kola Park, where we learned the various methods they use to reclaim a quarry into an ecological area, serving as a recreation spot for tourists and locals. Thank you, EAD, for the sponsorship, and TTU for giving me this opportunity. Thank you.
Okay, good evening. My name is Stephen. I'm in MBA, Natural Resources Management. I would like to appreciate very good lecturers and the entire organization of CEMEREM and DAD for making this event a success. It's been a great learning experience, a good blend of learning experiences and also recreational experiences. I think it was good listening to the presentations from our lecturers and also other presenters from the county government. For me, the Chawea CBO point of interest was the modern mine that has been mechanized in such a way that you can see the proceeds benefiting the investor and the members of the CPO, and particularly a percentage that is going to the community. And it was interesting to hear that a number of students have been sponsored and gone through the education system from the small percentage that is going to the community. The Alapak experience, of course, a classic example of what sustainable development is all about, where the present needs are met without compromising the ability of the future generations to meet their needs. And so that was also another great experience for me. And so I look forward to many of these. I would say great also to learn from my peers, the undergraduates, graduate team, and also to my fellow students in the master's program. Thank you so much.
Good evening, everybody. Do I go from day one to the last day?
As you wish.
The floor is yours.
The floor is mine. So I have had a good experience from the first day, from our presentations. I got to learn quite a lot through visiting those mines. It was not my first time, but every time I go there, I find something new. So like for the Charia CBO, there is something that I noticed about women involvement in mining. Previously, we only used to find, I think, around one lady. That is the one whom I used to find oftenly. But now I can see there is involvement of more ladies in mining. We can also see there is a little bit of mechanization in that particular mine, which was very commendable, and I hope that is going to increase their productivity and help them increase their revenue. After that, we went to Lake Chala. It was my first time to go to Lake Chala. It was a good experience to go there. Where else did you go? Then after that, when we came to
blocks.
Sorry?
The blocks making quarry.
The quarry, the stone quarry. We saw both the artisanal mining of those particular stones and also the small scale mining of those particular stones. We could see the differences and we saw where each one can borrow from. It was also commendable that you involved us in looking at how the processing of salt is done, and we saw why that salt is always lowly priced because of probably it relies on about natural processes. That's why we never have salt going for more than 100. I also came to learn I am a consumer of that salt, the one that you ask the difference, sea salt. So after learning that sea salt is not different from any other salt, I'm not going to buy my salt at 200 shillings anymore. So that is something that I learned from there. I have interacted with most of you, other than Lawrence, and I knew Lawrence. I came also to know Mima and some of you. I can remember your names, and I hope the interaction will not end at here. When we meet at the university, we can still interact more. Not only mining, we can also become friends. We never know it. So thank you so much for the interaction. Thank you for giving us an easy time, and thank you for not fearing us too much and making us look as if we are alienated from you, and that was very much commendable. Thank you.
My name is Mololo, a lecturer in the Department of Agricultural Science, in the School of Agriculture, which is based in Gereni. I want to say that this was a wonderful tour. I was taken to Germany in a special way in Coast Province, and I believe it's Germany because I went to areas where I never thought that such things existed in this world. Like that lake under on top of the hill was one of the wonders of nature. That feeling when I was under the tunnels of the mines, I went halfway because of my age and came back. It was a very funny feeling, and I believed I was somehow in Japan. I was also not Japan, but in Germany. I'll not forget the salt mine. And lastly, the land restoration area, which we visited today. I've learned that life is not only about crops and livestock, Emmanuel. We can also integrate with other sectors of this economy, and we make a living in one way or the other. I identified areas in my home area which are denuded, and I knew from what I learned today, I'm going to start some kind of restoration of those denuded lands. So let us thank CEMEREM and the organizers for having picked us, all of us. I was a presenter like you. And I want to tell you that it's not in vain that we didn't go to Germany. Just keep your passport. If you do not complete the process of getting a passport, please do it. I remember when I was chosen to go for my master's in Japan in the year 2010. I was in the Ministry of Agriculture, and the provincial directors of agriculture were called on an emergency. But we need names of hard-working officers who are seemingly bright, and they have ready passports. And in their own country, only 3 were identified. So we didn't go through the screen of interviews and that. But the final day, they were supposed to select 2 people. And because you know how Kenyans are, what the student who was not selected left Thika town, and he was supposed to be in Nairobi in a boardroom at 8, and because of the jam, he arrived 20 minutes later. So that's how we earned a very creative master's scholarship, simply because we had that passport. So keep it, and let's pray you will visit many areas in this one. Okay? Congratulations, and thank you so much.
Experiences. As he says, this is the beginning of great things to come. So keep the pace and stay focused. So as a continuation to sharing experiences, you're also going to share some feedback. And for this session, I will invite Mr. National Adero to take us through the feedback session. Welcome, National.
To take feedback from you based on the template we used
last time when you reported on your experience from Chawia. So we are going to the next one, which is your visit to Lake Chala in Taveta. So to give you the key lessons, so think of the key lessons. So anyone can volunteer just in a highly summarized way. What are some of the key lessons you observed? You can also share the key issues you noted. Then research opportunities and any other remarks. Key lessons, key issues noted, research opportunities, and any other remarks. So you can see Mercy is ready with one.
I'm not sure I was really good, but yesterday in Malindi, one of the things I noticed was the involvement of women. I think more women, I saw more women, but also that they really had to work hard to fill those bundles. I think one of them, for the 1 kg, one bundle was filled with 30 packets of salt, and they had to fill like 400 bundles for 400 bob. And for the smaller one, they had to fill again 400 bundles for 1 bob and I think 50 cents. And I thought that was quite something, and especially for the ones that were working with automated machines. I think one of the ladies told us that they work non-stop. They stand from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. and I thought that was really harsh because they only stop when the machine stops. So I think that was some I don't know whether it's a social issue. Yeah, it was a key issue.
That is on Malindi.
Yeah, that's on Malindi.
Through resources that we have, and that brings us the resources that may also boost the life of those living around that lake. Okay, so it was quite a good experience, and I think it need to be visited as a country or maybe as a government of Taita Taveta. They should invest in that lake, and also maybe, as you saw, that fishing being done there was just was done locally, and also maybe to add on that, maybe they should add more fish fingerlings, maybe, because I think the fish around there are not that large in number, because it could have drawn more people or maybe fishers into that area. That's why it's being done locally. So I think that's a key issue, and government there should see that it's an opportunity for us as a country. Thank you.
Another is a freshwater lake with no outlet or inlet. The outlet and inlet both they are underground. Then there is an issue with the fishing activity in Lake Chala. They are using mosquito net, which are not allowed there, or are not allowed in the country. They are illegal. So the fishing activities there are unsustainable. The fishing gear will catch even the eggs or the fingerlings from the fish. And with the time, the ecosystem there will be destroyed. Hence I call upon the county fisheries and with us, national fisheries, to help them with that.
We heard that there are rape cases and other cases too of theft, but there's nothing that has been done. Even putting some policemen or any administration that can be there for security would be better.
The other issue I noted was an issue of safety, especially for the women inside there who are packaging the salt. None of them had a mask, but inside there it was very dusty. I think I tried to remove my mask for a minute, and I struggled. So I think an issue of safety for them, and also while they're using natural processes, I think there's also pollution from the factory, especially when inside there. So I think a factor of safety and also environmental pollution.
In Malindi, because as we all know, the environmental management says they have abolished the use of asbestos, and I guess every government houses that were built using asbestos iron sheets were removed from use. So most of their oil structures they were still using asbestos, and as we all know the effect of asbestos to human. And so for you, the environmentalist, please try to emphasize on those issues. As I saw the issue in Malindi, it has a replication in Bamburi. Even if they are doing conservation, they still have asbestos. There, like kwa hiyo shed ya giraffe, hizo ni asbestos. So they should change.
Allow me also to summarize the key message we got from the student notes. They shared their notes. So there are more than 10. And I note career path advancement. I note exposure. This summer school is aiding the process of being more creative and practical problem solving, and cultivating that mindset, solution-oriented mindset. You know, sometimes we are so much problem-oriented. We don't think of being solution-oriented in our mindset. So what can we do? Research ideas for social innovation, and social innovation is an innovation that impacts society, not just profit-driven, but you are looking at the impact, long-term impact, and being a change agent for common good. Mining life cycle appreciation, and I like the fact that a good number of you also appreciate that they are advancing their presentation skills. Business sense in mining, climate change adaptation, post-mining environmental responsibility, health and safety issues in mining, then automation and labor abundance. How do you handle that? And we saw it at Malindi salt mining. Some process is automated, and the others are mainly manual. Then what of the social and environmental concerns in the artisanal and small-scale mining sector? No one talked about these two, but I added them because I am also a participant. I ought to appreciate the physical environment, understanding the physical environment. And you saw me walking around with the GPS. It was very interesting. I asked my engineering surveying students, why is it that when you are on the top, the GPS accuracy was very high, but just at the lake level, the GPS accuracy was low. It was plus minus 10 meters. But when we were on top before descending, it was plus minus 3 meters. I asked them that, and they are still trying to answer that question. If you have the answer, you can see me later after this. Maybe it can make your lunch more nutritious next week. So also local content has allowed for a more generative and organic dialogue. That one I can attest to because I've attended summer school in Germany, and the one in Kenya is allowing more time for discussion and interacting with the realities that are at the center of our concerns in Kenya. So you are not losing out, you are gaining by being more oriented, practical oriented, and getting more time with your lecturers and developing your research ideas.
But then, that is not easy to sell. You are grown up, many of you are working, you cannot say you don't have good internet. A class is programmed for say Thursday. For Thursday. From Monday up to Thursday, are not aware you are going to have this class, so that you struggle with the bundle on the material day. It is really absurd. It is not good for you to do that. So you must prove that you are a postgraduate student. Postgraduate does not mean age. It is not your age. It is a pedestal. It is something that you are standing on. So if a postgraduate student is not able to connect to a class, that is not an impressive thing. In other words, you are saying, well, I'm here, I don't deserve to be here, and really, it is only by mercy that I'm here. It is not a good thing. You have to prove that I'm in this category. If an undergraduate struggles, and you can understand, maybe the help is small, maybe the background isn't as good, so they can struggle. But here is a person, fee is paid, for instance, fee is paid. And by the way, because of the COVID, we didn't bring most of the postgraduate students on campus. So they are keeping their jobs. So somebody has fees paid, perhaps earning some stipend, and of course, if he's not earning stipend, he's in some job also. So you are in a job, but you cannot get this bundle, and of course a bundle that can take you through a class is it just 50 bob?
50 students, 1.5 GB for 3 hours.
So it is embarrassing that you are a postgraduate student, but you can't afford 50 bob. Huh? You can't afford 50 bob, but most probably you are taking your girlfriend out for some thousands, a few thousands in one sitting. So it means you are not using yourself properly. You are not figuring out what you want to go to. You are not figuring out where you want to go to. And of course, if you are a postgraduate student and you are also not able, assume you are not in a job and you are a postgraduate student, you are not able to make some money on the side using some idle time, then again, you are not on the right track. Postgraduate program is supposed to make you better. So if it is making you worse off, then you better drop out. It is supposed to improve you. And it should improve you almost immediately. Not that nikimaliza, I will be better. No, 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 no. People should see a difference. You should make people love learning. You make people love learning. But if you are more miserable, how will an undergraduate student know that really being a postgraduate student is good? We used to see people, postgraduate students, when we were undergraduate. Hey, I want to be a postgraduate student. It is so impressive. He sits in a good office, he has got some money, he can take you for lunch. So it is impressive. But here you are a postgraduate student, but you are there, the scum of the earth. Now it means you are not creating value. You must create value. As a postgraduate student, create value. Make those who are undergraduate students love learning. They can say, hey, this one is learning under CEMEREM. And as CEMEREM, we would not want you to embarrass us, that you are looking so bad, and we are trying to really make you look good. And you have to look good. You must look good. Show us that it is impacting on you. The education we are giving you, the infrastructure we are giving you is really impacting on you. He has been mentoring students, both undergraduate and postgraduate. He has told them even how to make money. Sometimes he sends some to me and tells me, know how to deal with them. Give them something. So also talk to him. This gentleman here makes a lot of money on the sides. You get to know him, work with him. Work with him to also learn how to make your money. People who are bright learn from the experiences of others, not their own experiences. You don't wait to suffer to learn. Learn from those who have suffered. And please, I will not allow myself to go in that direction. So, let me say that we appreciate your participation. We also appreciate there were some shortfalls, and let's also go out knowing that we are going to try to reverse the shortfalls, because that is why we are interacting in a session like this. And I would encourage you to interact with these people quite often. There are many things you can learn. There are many things you can learn from them. They can also learn from you, but most probably you have got more to learn from them than them learning from you. And of course, I don't expect them to come to you. It is you to look for them. And not just the staff on this side, even those that are back with it, you know how to interact with them. Get to know, what does Nelima like? What does she do? And then, is it something I'm interested in? That is what you need to do. So, lastly, let me also take this opportunity to appreciate the people that organized this meeting. I told you my role is basically facilitative, and there is a committee that worked on this quite tirelessly. You were not seeing them, they were in the back room, and it takes a lot of effort and time to have a program like this done. So there is a committee that on behalf of the Vice Chancellor, I want to appreciate them very sincerely. We have George, who has been running the publicity wing. He has been the guy providing information and also doing the blogs. He has been working very closely with another gentleman who is not here, but we appreciate his role, Joseph Kobe. You must have seen him back in TTU. Then there is Robert. I don't know whether he's here or Robert.
Is there.
Yes, Robert is there. I know you know him very well. He's the one who has been greasing your moving parts. So you know him very well. Robert is the project accountant, and he was also a member of this organizing committee. There is another lady who is not here, Veronica. Those who are in business know her. She is the chair of Business and Management Sciences, Veronica Nyatichi. She was not able to come here, but she has been in that committee all along, and I'm sure you know her very well, and we want to appreciate the role that she has played. Then we have got Madame Mary, who has been interacting very closely with you, and of course Madame Mary also happens to have the largest number of participants in this team here. Madame Mary, you could just stand and wave for those who may not know you. Thank you very much for your role. And then there is Nation, who has been serving as the secretariat of the committee. Nation, maybe for those who don't know you, you could just wave. It's very versatile with geospatial things, and also quite technology savvy. You may have interacted with him. He's also a mentor to many of the students. By the way, if you look at students with very good presentations, there is a high probability that they have passed through his hands, because he does not even take presentations lightly. Of course, we don't take presentations lightly, and if you make poor presentations, it is important that we tell you that you tried, but your trial was not good enough. That is important to underscore. And the gentleman who was chairing the organizing committee is here with me, and of course I'm going to hand over the program to him. He has advised me that one of the staff members had not given account of his experience, but he's now here, so that I invite that staff to give us his perspectives before he takes over the program. Is that accurate? Yeah, that's Thank you so much. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you allow me, I will sit down. And before I sit down, Dr. Chikati, would you...
You can start with the student. There's a student also.
There's one student.
There were two, one student and one staff.
Oh, okay. There is another student who came late?
Yes.
Who is that? Mwange. Where is Mwange? Come around. I know you are camera shy, but
not really.
Yes, fine.
That's enough?
Yes.
Yes, good evening.
Good evening.
My name is James Mwange, MBA and RM. Let me start by a word of gratitude and a lot of thanks to the TTU fraternity and CEMEREM and Dad, at least for him.
We have a total of 22 students, 16 undergraduates and 6 postgraduates. And we have our lecturers from all the schools, from the 4 schools. So I want to appreciate everybody for the time that we have taken since last Sunday until today, when we are almost formally ending our summer school. Officially, we are ending tomorrow. This is just the closing dinner. We had our initial dinner on Sunday. I'm sure you enjoyed the dinner. And I'm sure again you're going to enjoy the dinner today. And if there are some things that you didn't find to be correct, we can say we are sorry for that, because that is the best we could have done. We have tried to facilitate you so that you are very independent in taking your meals and getting you the best places to spend. This is one of the best places in Twapa that you could have spent. You can see for yourselves the rooms that you are in. That means we are trying to appreciate people who have done very well. Ideally, you are the cream, because we chose the best students out of the so many. If you are from the School of Science, know that you are the best student out of 1,500 students. So your probability, you can imagine a probability of 1 over 1,500. Okay, you must be very good. If you are from the agriculture part, probably you're 1 out of something, less than 100. So your probability was higher, 1%. If you are from mining, probably, yes. From the business, the probability was probably also quite low, meaning that you are the best students that we have had.
Cool. Last year, the mean score was 64.29%. This year, 58.00%. In terms of standard deviation, a slight difference. Last year 8%, this year 9%. The highest 9.33% and the lowest 35.33%. The chair of the committee has already explained some of the factors that contributed to this, and we are determined to reverse that next year. So going to the crux of the matter, let's now get the winners. You are evaluated by 3 judges, and that helps to reduce bias, and the mean score was taken. After this, the third position went to none other than Emmanuel Otieno, who scored 66.00%.